Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll start our presentations. The Community Development Block Grant presentations for 2024-2025. Ms. Minitry.
Okay, thank you. So the following organizations will give presentations tonight. Reach Out Morongo Basin, the 29 Palms Community Food Pantry, Morongo Basin Unity Home, and the 29 Palms Adult Literacy Program. The presenters will have 3 minutes to provide information about their organization and funding request. The city council members will be able to ask questions of each presenter after their 3-minute presentation. Just a reminder, no action will be taken this evening. The 2 council members that are on the funding committee will make a determination of funding at a later date. Okay, so in no particular order, I will go ahead and call up, let's see, Reach Out Morongo Basin.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you very much for having us. Robin Schlosser with Reach Out Morongo Basin. Reach Out Morongo Basin has a very long history with the city of 29 Palms. Working here, we were founded in 25 years ago, and we also oversee the operations of the senior center for the city. The services we provide are many. We do transportation, we do homemaker services, personal business assistance. We're a referral agency through the city senior center. We also do fall prevention, family caregiver support, and we set up all the activities and different events for the seniors at the senior center that come in and congregate there, as well as oversee the senior nutrition program. I can tell you that in 2023, Reach Out Morongo Basin served 924 seniors or residents of the city of 29 Palms through our services. Through the senior center itself, we host an average of 45 to 60 people a day. We assisted also 3,833 individuals with walk-in and call services or referrals for other agencies that contact us, because we are a very big point. The funding that we're requesting this time is we would like to be able to have funding to do more activities for our seniors. We are seeing an increase in the number of individuals that are coming in. More of them younger seniors, people born in 1960, which for us is, we might not realize it, but I was born in 1961, and so people my age are starting to come in and want to do activities. They want to see dances, they want to see yoga, they want to see things that they can get involved in, be active, and engage with. And that's what we're looking for funding to help us do this time. Is to be able to have activities, have dances, be able to hire a teacher to come in and teach a yoga class or come in and do art classes and really be able to help them broaden their horizons and engage, get them out of their houses and active in the community again. So we're really hoping that the city will help us with this particular aspect of it and that we can, enrich the lives of our seniors here. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for everything you are doing. Thank you so much for the city.
Any other questions, thoughts?
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, up next we'll have Miss Lori Cosgriff with the 29 Palms Community Food Pantry.
Good evening to the members of the City Council. And I'd like to start by thanking you all for what you're doing for our community and to thank the agencies that are represented here tonight. I think we're all a complete package. The 29 Palms Community Food Pantry has been active in our community for 22 years now. We're an all-volunteer agency, and we are guided by a board of directors that really represent the diversity of our community. The pantry serves approximately 200 families every month, and we have an open caseload of approximately 1,000 members of our community. We represent 29 Palms, Wonder Valley, and the Marine Corps Base. These are the people that we serve with emergency food. When a family comes to the pantry, they leave with approximately 50 pounds of food valued at $75 every month. We support our activities with grants like this, fundraisers, private cash, and private food donations, and we are a member of the Fine Food Bank. Prices are rising, and those prices are rising faster than our funding. To meet the growing emergency needs of our community, We are the agency that represents USDA, and we distribute that food once a month. And we have partnered with Reach Out Morongo Basin to do once a month a senior food distribution with the Fide Food Bank. Approximately 60% of the people who use the pantry are also using one or the other of those two distributions also, and some of them use all three of them. Now, that seems like a large amount of food every month, but if you are trying to feed a family on a minimum amount of money, pay rent, buy shoes for your children, the food doesn't go very far. And we really are experiencing a rise in food prices, and we expect those prices to rise even further and for food to be in short supply for us from those agencies that give free food to us as production prices rise. We're asking the council to give us $30,000 this year to meet those expenses, and that's the amount of money that will help us keep our distribution at the current levels. I'm here to take questions if you have any to ask. We invite you to visit our pantry, and we want to thank you for what you've done for us in the past.
Questions from here? Do you also do Desert Heights as well?
We do not. We only serve 29 Palms, Wonder Valley, and the Marine Corps Base. We do not turn people away if they come to the door and they're from somewhere else. We serve them today. We advise them of service agencies in their own areas and ask them to not return. Thank you.
Thank you. And also your program, thank you for everything you've been doing.
Thank you, Ms. Laurie. Okay, next we have Morongo Basin Unity Home.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to present a request here. My name is Roberto. I am an advocate, domestic violence advocate at Morongo Basin Unity Home. We are a nonprofit organization that provides a safe haven for victims of domestic violence. We offer programs to assist clients through counseling, legal advocacy, building self-esteem through empowerment groups, and allowing survivors to live a life free from the fear of abuse. We offer a 30-day emergency shelter to all victims, regardless of race, color, national origin, age, sex, sexual preference, or handicap. We have been accomplishing this for this mission for over 41 years in the Morongo Basin. With that in mind, the money that Unity Home has applied for and requested for the CDBG grant is being requested to remodel the basketball court at our shelter that we currently have. Unity Home served in 2023 370 new client at shelter and at outreach office. We received over 1,296 hotline calls. 14,836 meals were served at our shelter. 1,092 transports we were able to make in the year of 2023. 4,109 bed nights were provided for victims of domestic violence at our shelter, and 32% of those clients were from the city of 29 Palms. We try as best as we can to provide awareness for domestic violence. We do have quite a few of events going on throughout the year. One is coming up in February. We call it our Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and it's coming up on the 24th. To Saturday. And the reason for is to bring awareness, of course, for also teenagers that go through domestic violence, through relationships, to build up and know what a healthy relationship is. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, and last but not least, the 29 Palms Adult Literacy Program.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and staff. My name is Robin Hawley, and I am the Regional Manager for the 29 Palms Branch Library. The San Bernardino County Library System is a network of branch libraries that serve a diverse population over a vast geographic area. We strive to provide equal access to information, technology, programs, and services for all the people who call San Bernardino County home. Our adult literacy program has been in place for over 30 years, allowing us to help those struggling with literacy in our communities. This branch is currently funded exclusively by San Bernardino County Library, but will still work towards expanding our goal to help literacy learners get one-on-one tutoring and meet their literacy goals. Some of the literacy materials available for the tutors and learners include adult literacy launchpad tablets to assist in learning English grammar, spelling, and writing, reading, writing, and spelling books designed for adults, online access to testing and education reference center, Career Online High School, job search resources, and online databases. Thank you for your consideration of the CDBG grant funding for the 29 Palms Branch Library. This partnership will make a difference in our community. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, everybody. To all the organizations that are present this evening, I just want to express my gratitude for the services that you provide to our community. Your service has not gone unnoticed, for sure. Your hard work is, we're really grateful for the hard work that you put into our community. So just wanted to let you know that you should have an answer in regards to your funding request probably around the end of April, early May. Okay, so I'll reach out to you as soon as that information is available. Yes, ma'am.
Carrie, can I say we do serve Desert Heights, I'm just bad at geography.
Okay. Okay, thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Is it your birthday? That'll be super cool. No, we're looking forward to it. Oh, great.
Excited to support them.
How you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? Nice to see you again. I remember you.
How things
It's a
been?
secretive presentation you guys got going on.
Secret.
Not secret. I just it didn't have a link on the thing. So
We're here to talk about your flag design.
you're gonna get me in trouble. You know that's kind of controversial.
I read, they were ripping into you.
I don't know what they want.
Everything's controversial.
Everything's controversial. You know, I don't even think it's a bad thing, but whatever.
No,
You know, we do a lot of work for the city.
yeah.
You know,
No, I think it's a great idea. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's nothing wrong with updating.
there's nothing wrong with updating, and even then, like, even if we don't change the flag, oh, there it is over there. Even if we don't change the flag, we might think about doing an art competition for our banners.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. And maybe see if the PAC wants to facilitate that as the lead arts, advisory committee.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
What do you think?
If you'd like us to, we're here to serve you.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good thing because we need like maybe something that's like a general 29 Palms one. 'Cause we don't really have one, honestly. We have a whole bunch of like different ones. And then we're probably gonna do something for like the military. Probably like Mr. Bowden was talking about like having the different battalions, like their logo on some of them. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you.
This is
Person anyway, right? Oh, exactly. No, that would be where I would miss it.
You don't know what goes on.
the real city work gets done in the salon. How was your Super Bowl weekend? Yeah? That's what I heard. Just over there. Nothing yet. We're just running interference when the time comes.
That's hilarious, my usual.
You know, we don't hear comments and stuff at the very end. No one's bringing access.
We're staying quiet. We did tell people that we were up and we were doing Larry documentary. And so we announced that. We have also announced that we're not on the agenda. Apparently everybody's agreed on that. Remember, well, we've been number one. Let's just say we're number two. But the fourth number I just can't tell. People in the sports. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Joe showed up. I don't want to take the list. Yeah. So anyway. I came because I didn't want people. Why not?
wash my hands. Okay. I just sanitized my hands. Yes, nice to meet you. I'm going to the shop, right? Like when I use up the visitor center, there you go. You know, the phone rings, emails pop. Yeah. So nice to meet you. Nice to meet you so much for getting a quick jump on the new tools. Yeah, no, I love it. I have a new one for you too. So hopefully people don't cancel it. Like I said, 2 clicks, it's gone. Not a big deal. And coming probably tomorrow is going to be update business description, contact information, expand, change everything. Whatever. Are a lot of people using it? Or nope. Push. Yeah. You know, drop more things. That's interesting. Yes, please. Let me see here. Is she back here?
Take your time, Obama, and just really deliver it.
You know, when I worked for Panasonic back in and a big part of my job was like this. They had a because they would show us examples of like really effective examples of switches and like big
It's all very deliberate.
Did you get all that?
Yeah. I learned enough to pass my public speaking class in college, but I'm still working on it.
Or you do the right. And when I get really stressed, I find myself like
I'll just change her to the end if she walks in. I'll just ask right now before I start the meeting. Is anybody here representing Feathers and Furs? Nobody here representing Feathers and Furs? Okay, thank you. There we go. Call the order. Let's see. Chuck, would you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you. And if you wish to remain standing, our invocation will be by Pastor Amy Miranda from First Assembly of,
First Assembly, that's good.
okay, God Church, yes.
That's good. It's got a long name. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Let's all pray. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to come together as a group, as a family of 29, and to make our city better, to help us to grow. I pray right now that you give wisdom, courage, and direction to the mayor, to the council. I pray for peace for the meeting. I pray for those that need to share their thoughts and concerns, that there'll just be peace. There'll be good communication. It'll be well received. I pray you give good direction on what's best for 29 Palms, not just opinions, but literally what's best for us here. Thank you that we get to come together in open space and proclaim your name. And we just ask your blessings tonight. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Wright has an excused absence. Councilmember Scott.
Here.
Councilmember Mintz has an excused absence. Mayor Pro Tem Klink.
Here.
Mayor Bildering.
Here. There is no closed session announcements. Any changes to the agenda? Nope. All right. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going onto our website and clicking on Meeting Agendas link. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. Miss Connie, no. So we will move to Proclamation recognizing American Heart Month. City of 29 Palms Proclamation recognizing American Heart Month. Whereas heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, claiming over 700,000 lives annually. Throughout American Heart Month, we strive to heighten awareness surrounding the perils of heart disease and those we've lost, and emphasizing the collective actions we can take to save countless lives while addressing the impact of high-risk communities. And whereas advanced technologies enable faster and more effective diagnosis, prevention, and treatment. A clearly comprehensive of risk factors such as high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, smoking, obesity, and type 2 diabetes has also emerged. And whereas despite notable progress, heart disease remains a pregnant burden, particularly affecting Black and Brown Americans, Native Americans, and Alaskan Natives, and those in rural areas. Cardiovascular disease, encompassing heart conditions and strokes, rank among the leading causes of pregnancy-related deaths, with higher rates among women of color. Whereas promoting regular physical activity, adopting a healthy diet, managing stress, avoiding smoking and vaping, and ensuring quality sleep are key measures to reduce heart disease risk and enhance overall well-being. Whereas this American Heart Month, we recommit to promoting heart-healthy lifestyles and supporting the millions of Americans living with this cardiovascular condition. Now, therefore, to be resolved that the City Council of the City of 29 Palms does hereby declare the month of February 2024 as American Heart Month in the City of 29 Palms. We urge all community members to join us in recognizing the importance of heart health and to take proactive steps towards improving their heart health in not just American Heart Month, but throughout the year, dated 13th day of February 2024. Yes. And Kathy Alkery, did I say that right? Okay.
I'm Kathy Alkire, I'm a nurse with Morongo Basin Healthcare District. And on next week, on Thursday, at the Senior Center, I'm giving a heart talk, Heart Health, at 10:30 at the Yucca Valley Senior Center on February 22nd. And we also do we'll have a lot of information, a lot of preservation of your heart. There's a lot of things that we can do to prevent heart disease, and the City of 29, with your backing, allows us to tell all the residents and community members to live healthy, quality health lives. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, number 3, recognizing February 2024 as Black History Month. Proclamation recognizing February Black History Month. Whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the legacy of Black Americans whose power to lead, to overcome, and to expand the meaning of and practice of American democracy and to help our nation become a more fair and just society. Whereas the continued sacrifices of Black Americans need to be honored and recognized for their duties, culture, scientific, political, and economic contributions to the very foundation of American society that has manifested through the relentless strength and will to preserve regardless of the circumstances. Whereas Black American descendants are one of the largest consistent populations living in America, making Black Americans one of the oldest geological populations in America, sole after Native Americans. Whereas Black Americans have survived, thrived, and risen to the highest ranks in all areas of American society, including within local, state, and federal governments, from the halls of the integrated elementary schools to the halls of Congress. In addition, tens of millions of Black Americans throughout American history have served in all branches of the United States Armed Forces, defending the ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice for all. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the City Council of the City of 29 Palms does hereby proclaim February 2024 to be Black History Month and encourages all residents to observe this month, dated this 13th day of February 2024. And I would like to call up Carmelette McGivey. Oh, Gilvey. I always take the O out. You look stunning as always. I wore my white shoes just for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Before I give this to you, we take our pictures and smile, right? Sure. I want to let everyone know a little history. Ms. Carmelette, when we got the proclamation, it's Black History Month, we're trying to think, okay, we try to find, like you be on the council, we strive to find someone to accept it for that month. And while you're on council, you were one of the biggest supporters and fighters of social justice in the healthcare system and, throughout. We made some policies, we made some changes that we needed to make. And also, not just all the stuff you do for the council and that aspect of it, but you, for Black History Month, you were the first African-American female mayor. Yes. So I felt fitting that we should make sure you get this.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Before we take pictures, I'll let you.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the city of 29 Palms and all the residents and really all the members and residents of the Morongo Basin. I'm really thankful to my parents because they birthed in their children a passion. And I found my passion early on in life. It may not have made me very popular, but I have a passion. I have a passion for justice. I have a passion for accepting people's culture and learning about people's culture, because after we take that first layer of skin off, there's really no difference in us at all. And so I would still continue to work towards that and strive towards that in healthcare, throughout my community and my job and what I do would reach out, because I'm still helping people, and Reach Out is an organization that helps people to become more culturally aware and culturally sensitive. So I think as a nation, if we achieve that, then we will truly be the best nation in the world.
All right, moving on to number 4, presentation by the Public Arts Advisory Committee, PAAC.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Anna Stump, I'm the chair of the Public Arts Advisory Committee. And today, thank you very much for allowing us to make this presentation in which we are going to be advising you about one of our most important public artworks, which is the 29 exclamation point sculpture. My colleague Paul Razzo is going to be making the presentation, and then Brianne DeSestri has offered to make a few comments about how the sculpture is interacted with by our tourists. So, Paul.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you all for having us today, and I hope everyone had a safe and fun Super Bowl weekend. First and foremost, if you want to go to the next slide, please. I think a majority of you already know, but for those in attendance who do not, we are the PAAC, the Public Arts Advisory Committee, and we are tasked with maintaining and restoring the existing public art within the city collection. Next. Our goal today is to repair Chuck Kaplinger's landmark 29 sculpture and increase accessibility according to ADA compliance standards. Who is Chuck Kaplinger? Why are we concerned about Chuck Kaplinger and his sculpture? Chuck, in his personal life, is kind of an amazing person. I don't know if you've read his book that came out, but I'm halfway through and it's a lot of fun. Working, early in the 60s during the space race doing concept art for NASA, coming into 29 Palms where he was president and board member of the Chamber of Commerce. He was co-founder and chair emeritus of the PAAC. He was one of the founding members of the Studio 62 tours, member of the Planning Commission, the Cultural Arts Art Council. He's been a prolific member of our community for a long time. Next. So how can we achieve this goal, not just for Chuck, but for the community? We have two possible options. Both include restoring the sculpture, but the question is, where is the sculpture going to sit long term? One is to keep it on its current location at Donald Hill, and the other to move it to a location at potentially Freedom Plaza, which is already meeting ADA requirements. What have we done so far? We met with the artists and TBID members as well as City Council at the site of the sculpture as it sits now. We've had the sculpture surveyed for condition. We fielded repair and relocation estimates, pitched to TBID, got recommendation from the Planning Commission, and now we are forwarding to the City Council to get approval. Some other sculptures that already exist in our collection that do have a bit more prominent stance already here in the city is the metal sculpture here at Buckland Park, the metal sculptures trio. You can see the plaque already commemorating Gerald Buckland as well as his sculpture. Next. Here at Historic Plaza, we have our Chain of Life sculpture, which Mayor Pro Tem Klink was part of the board that got this done out there at Historic Plaza, and thank you so much. It's such a beautiful piece out there. Our store is at Historic Plaza, and this is just such a beautiful sculpture to sit around and enjoy. Now moving on to the experience when experiencing the 29 sculpture, Chuck sculpture. As you can see, driving up to it already, it's there now in that photo. It's just a little bit unnoticed with all the signs, the debris, the bushes. Next. And then this is driving up on it. Again, the signs in the way. You really don't see it until you've already passed it, unfortunately. Next. And then once you do get to it, this is the state of it as it sits. It's been a victim to our elements. It's corroded, it's dented, it's scratched, there's holes in it. It really needs refurbishment. These are the survey results. Here you see the notes of abrasion, fading, surface grime, corrosion, stains, scratches. It's been through it, frankly. Next. So the restoration estimates for Donald 1, option 1, keeping it on Donald Hill, you could see that the restoration estimates are from $4,500 to $5,500 to build an ADA compliant parking lot, which is a lot. We know comes in at 92, and then other costs would be plaque and lighting. To move it to Freedom Plaza, again for restoration, $4,500 to $5,500, $10,000 to move the sculpture, and then also plaque, lighting, and any additional accessories such as gardening, landscaping, something like that. This is Chuck's original marquette, which is now 15 years old, and as a cardboard marquette has stood time better than our metal sculpture outdoors. This is the color that he is picturing it being restored to. Next. So what are the pros of keeping it at Donald Hill? The location is loved by many members of the public. Background photo is beautiful for skies and mountains. The site already has lighting for the sculpture. Cons is that parking is difficult and dangerous. It's really a short stop just from the time you notice the sculpture to where it's time to hook the turn to get up to that hill. There is no ADA access. It's hard to stand in front of the sculpture to take photos as the ground slopes directly into the highway. Like we said, there's many signs and bushes blocking it as it sits. Next. So this would be it refurbished, powder coated, getting the exterior up to snuff and making it pretty again for Donald Hill. Next. This would be a dream, right? If we were able to keep it on Donald Hill, build out this ADA compliant parking lot. At our most recent PAAC meeting, we were asked to read some Facebook thread comments about different members of the community who had concerns about moving the statue. One of the comments was that there is no requirement for public art to be ADA compliant. This was a bit shocking, honestly. I mean, if we're not making it accessible to all members of the community, then we may as well take public art, the word public, out of it completely. If it is, if it's not available to our elderly neighbors, if it's not available to our disabled neighbors, if it's not available to our wounded veterans here in town, then it's not public art. Sadly, it's just a trophy that is weathering away on an anthill currently. Next. So option 2, Freedom Plaza. Pros: location has ample parking, ADA compliance, and ADA bathrooms. It's easier for tourists to find. Tourists can do things in the plaza, such as visit the visitor center and see the 29 exclamation point sculpture. $50K was actually budgeted for artwork in Freedom Plaza, which has not been utilized. Photography in front and around the sculpture would be easy. Cons: it would need lighting. More interaction would mean more annual maintenance. And the background could get a bit chaotic as opposed to the sky background that it has currently. These are just some ideas of what it could look like there. This is more of a basic idea, some landscaping, refurbishment, and then next, sort of a different view for you there. And then next, this would be sort of what I would like to see, sort of an actual built-in sculpture, a place for the community to sit, enjoy, and still be able to take photos. So why do we do this? Increased understanding and importance of art and culture within the city. People should know that they can become a contributing part of this city and that they could do great things for the city, give a gift to the city, and the city's going to take care of it. Increased visibility on social media. This was another thing that was mentioned in the Facebook group. There were people who likened this to the Welcome to Joshua Tree sign that people like to pull over and take photos to. Unfortunately, this just isn't in the same league. If you just do a quick Google search, you could see sort of the differences, number one, of just how prevalent this 29 sculpture is already on the internet and how few people actually take photos of it. I mean, it's honestly kind of hard to find people taking photos of it and posting it online as is. And increased community engagement. I spent majority of my life in Riverside, which is very public art forward, and there's so many beautiful pieces down there. Recently, I went back for my uncle's funeral, and driving around the town, I was sort of taken aback by how comforting the public art spaces were and just the attached memories that they had to being with my uncle in different spaces, different times. And it made me realize, you know, that's sort of what public art is supposed to be. It's supposed to be interwoven into the memories of our city. 20 years from now, we would like to look back at this sculpture and have community members have memories about it. That's where I had my first kiss. Dad always told me if I got separated from him at an event, wait by the 29 sculpture, he'd come find me, you know? Things like that, and unfortunately, that's just not gonna happen at the sculpture where it sits currently. It was a generous gift from a community member, and it's being underutilized. So when we look at the future of this sculpture, I hope that we look at it not just as an ode to Chuck and making sure that we take care of his generous gift, more than a backdrop for tourists. I hope that we look at it as part of the legacy of 29 Palms and part of the community, these anchors for memories that we have within the community. And with the T-bid applications coming to a deadline, with entities like the DBA pushing for more events in Freedom Plaza, I hope that we can literally put 29 at the forefront of that revitalization and have it represented for this next chapter in our city's life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, so the PAC had asked me to come tonight to just share some visitor insights and feedback. As you know, the TBID operates the city's visitor center. We're there 7 days a week. And I'll just start by saying, we do hear it from our visitors on a daily basis that a big part of why they've chosen to come stay in 29 Palms is for the opportunity to explore the city's public art collection, murals, sculptures, and everything. This also applies to day trip visitors who we're seeing more and more. They're staying down in the Greater Palm Springs area. They're passing through, making a stop, and there's as much interest from these folks, again, to learn more about our murals and sculptures. And so with confidence, I'll say that nearly every interaction that we have in the City Visitor Center touches on public art. The Oasis of Murals and Public Art brochure is by far one of our most asked for and most popular resources. We distribute anywhere from 50 to 100 plus copies of this piece a week. And when we introduce this resource, the vast majority of our visitors have really no awareness of this 29 exclamation sculpture. So really it's us, it's always part of our pitch. We're showing them pictures, we're helping identify where it is on the map, providing direction, and doing what we can to encourage people to go visit it, to interact with it, to take some fun photos, share the photos. And really the feedback that we always get from visitors, they will often, if they're a pair, look at each other and say, oh wow, that's 4 blocks from this building. We've come and gone, we've driven around the city, and we've missed it in the time that we've already been here. And that is almost always immediately followed by questions about parking and access. There is definitely uncertainty from the visitors we interact with as to, can you pull over, can you park on Bullion, can you walk up, can you stand in front of it? So again, uncertainty in terms of how they can and should interact with it. So hopefully that adds to the discussion or conversation, just insights from our visitors. So.
Thank you. If we can answer any questions, please get in touch with us. We are hoping that this can be moved forward and we can get a decision on whether we're going to keep it at Donnell Hill and restore it there, or move it to another location and restore it.
All right, thank you. I also have a letter from Chuck Keplinger that he wanted me to read in his public comments. I'll just get it now. He's summarizing he supports the idea of moving it. That's pretty much what he's saying. He loves his sign. He wants the sign moved. He has no problem with it moved. That's pretty much what the whole letter's saying. So just make sure he got his word out there that the artist who made it also would like and has no problems with it being moved down there. So thank you.
Can I ask a question? That 29 explanation in the round planter, I guess you could say, would that be included in that $10,000?
That was a far-fetched mock-up. It'd be nice if we could fit it into that budget, but really, we fielded something closer to the smaller planter.
Okay. I think this should be discussed with all the council members, and so if it's okay, we can just wait and talk to the other two. I do have some concerns about it being down by Freedom Plaza for safety reason. We know that kids love to climb on things, and it's going to be climbed on more often, which means that, yes, it's going to cost more to refurbish it later on. Here, when it's up there, when I drive by and I see people there, they're not climbing on it. They're there going up to it and taking pictures. And they're on Bullion parked. So, yes, definitely would have to have the parking lot put in if we decide to keep it there. So, but just, I think we need to save it for the other ones.
We can still do a future agenda item request, though.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that when we get down there. But thank you. Council comments and reports of meetings attended.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I've been busy, as well as you guys have, meeting and having meetings around city employment. And I had the opportunity to also go to the grand opening for a new restaurant near downtown, Fishalicious. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I too did what Councilmember Scott did, and but I do want to wish everybody in the Morongo Basin, especially here in 29 Palms, a happy birthday in the month of February. And we have a city council member sitting over there that's in October or February, and we need to sing happy birthday to him. So here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Octavius. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Hopefully. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
He's like 27.
And the only meeting that I will be attending is this Friday, the Mountain Desert Measure I meeting in Victorville.
Thank you. Like the rest of my colleagues, I've been conducting meetings over meetings. Did the ribbon cutting at Fishalicious, and I attended the community leadership-based luncheon that had pretty much all the Morongo Basin agencies' leadership along with the CG, and introduced ourselves, networked, and had some future idea meetings. I'm going to talk about building that bridge with the base and us, and then even Yucca Valley, trying to make sure we're all together, working together. We're all in this together in some weird way. So we all have our priorities, but at the same time, we're all on the same team. So we just talked about those things and some future goals that we have, milestones we want to hit together to better the whole community, not just 29 Palms. And that's all I have. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the City Council action. Anything from him? All right.
I make a motion that we approve the consent. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
public. Anyone from the public? Nope. Okay. Close.
I make a motion that we move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Buildering.
Aye.
Approved 3-0-0. 0-2. 3-0-2.
Give you time. You ready? All right. Public hearing number 10.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is another development code amendment. We've been trying to do a cleanup of all of our development code sections, and this is another one. We've addressed a lot of procedural things in here with regards to clarifying language, taking out extraneous portions of the development code pertaining to application forms and things like that. We don't have application forms per se. We take in applications electronically, for instance. And if the City Council wishes, I can go into these sections in more detail. But we do have quite a bit of cleanup in this particular ordinance. Whoops, that's not the Planning Commission, City Council. So we ask that the City Council tentatively approve the Development Code Amendment. We'll come back with a second reading here as soon as possible, and we find this project exempt from CEQA as well. So that's a recommendation.
Any questions up here? All right, I'm going to open it to the public. Public? Nope. I am going to close it. Motion.
This doesn't have to do with, this is just CEQA, right? It's nothing to do with permits or licenses and anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then I will make a motion to accept the Development Code Amendment, Article 3, Administration, Permits and Procedures.
You can find the project exempt from CEQA.
And find the project exempt from CEQA.
Second.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Buildering.
Aye.
Approved 3-0-2.
Discussion and potential action items. Number 11.
That'd be me. Okay, so each year, the Southern California Association of Governments hosts a General Assembly in La Quinta. And at this conference, excuse me, decisions are made, ideas are brought forth, and they require input from all the cities. So this year, it's going to be held Thursday and Friday, May 2nd and 3rd at the JW Marriott Desert Springs Resort in Palm Desert. And each year, the SCAG's member city select a delegate and an alternate delegate to represent their city at the annual meeting. So at this time, I'm looking for a delegate and an alternate.
Should we put them two since it's not here?
I was gonna say, let's just put Councilmember Wright and Mintz on that.
Yeah.
No. I will go ahead and be a delegate to this. I am on SBCTA and they kind of go together.
Do you want to be alternate?
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, so I have Mayor Pro Tem Klink and Councilmember Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Number 12? Oh,
Yep.
I see him walking in.
Bringing Eli.
Yeah, I
Marshall
was waiting for you to
forward
talk, and I saw him walking in. I go, I got it.
Good evening. So this is the item in front of you has been a project in the works since before I became an employee. It's partially a safety project, partially a efficiency upgrade, and to some extent a quality of life upgrade. It'll be the conversion of all the wood poles that are currently failed in the park to steel poles and new LED lights, new lighting controllers, that will give us remote access so that staff doesn't have to come in on days off. This is the same company that did the lights that are at Knott Sky Park on the steel poles. As you can see, they broke their bid up. We bid this 3 times now, and we actually brought in a third-party company, previous city manager did, to conduct a bid, and we still only received their bid. And although they did lower their bid and then raise their bid, so it kind of worked out in a weird way. We have the money out of the general fund. You've allotted the $1,150,000 over the last 4 years towards this project. The project value is $1,095,228. There's a contingency, and what that is we're going to eliminate 6 poles in this process. Better lighting, less poles. There may be some cost for damaged wire, old conduit, things that need to be replaced, switch gear that needs to be replaced that we tested as much as we could, but we don't know until we actually do the project. So that's kind of a contingency. Obviously, that would go back to the general fund if we don't use it, or whatever portion is not used. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Questions? Staff? Public?
Comments?
Comments? No?
I will make a motion to go ahead and do the Lucky Park ball field light pole replacement and upgrade for a total cost of $1.34 million. But I want to put in there with this comment, do not forget about the animal shelter.
I second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Bildering,
Aye.
approved 302.
Is that the Wicked Witch?
Everyone's awake. All right. Future council initiated items.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a future agenda request to take a look at our general plan. It's been about, last time we updated it was 2012, and recommendation is usually 12 to 15 years.
I'll second that.
Can I also make a future agenda request to take a look at the 29 Palms sign?
Second.
All right.
Got it.
Public comments. This is a time for the public to address the city council on issues within the jurisdiction of the city council that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There's a time limitation of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out name and address slips and give it to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included in the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. And do I have a stack? I do. All right. Leading off, Susan Peplow. She doesn't sound happy. Sound travels.
I was actually going to send a letter because I didn't plan on being here. Good evening, everyone. This is hopefully conveys in the manner that I hope. I am hoping that the City Council will look to put onto the agenda reworking the T-bid ordinance. Now that we have a full board of advisors, I hope that the City Council continues to recognize the priority to rework that. By example, we had the budget and the planning document that was presented in July, late July of last year. Strategic planning happened in October. We're in the middle of February, and we are still without term limits. We have kind of every other month for sessions. I hope that the City Council and staff can look at it as new energy and start setting a priority to our marketing. You may not be aware, like some of occupancy and rates, can't speak for hotels, but for vacation rentals are down as much as like 20 and 30%. So that will have a trickle down to how much TOT the city is going to be getting. So if the goal was marketing and the goal was to build 29 Palms as a destination, let's work with that and try to get some new energy, new ideas, and continue to utilize the community engagement that we've been getting. And of course, we have upcoming events as well. So I think it's just a really good time to bring that around, rework it, and I hope that, again, you set that as a priority and put it on the agenda, because we all know nothing's happening until it goes through public comment. And another month, another 2 months, it's going to be July, you guys. So thank you.
Thank you. Miss Mary Jane?
Good evening. I have a question. Do I need 2 green slips if I want to say 2 different things?
Is it going to be more than 3 minutes?
You only get 3 minutes.
Okay, all right, I'll be real quick then. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have driven down Ocotillo behind the laundromat, behind Family General. There's graffiti on the cafe wall. There's graffiti on the Family General. There's graffiti on the sidewalk. Going over, I think it's Joshua, on the way to Starbucks. You got graffiti on that building over there. Thank you, Larry. There was some graffiti taken care of at the car wash, but that's an eyesore. And the barber shop downtown that used to be the PFF building got hit with graffiti, and they had it removed almost, I think, instantly before anybody really ever saw it. It was on Facebook. There's graffiti out in Smoke Tree. Somebody, we don't use purple in this town, but anyway, somebody that liked purple or green did it out there. We used to have, Terry Waite used to go out years ago and clean up the graffiti. It wasn't paint over, it was literally removing it from the walls. Then Wayne Winnicky came along, and then he took over that position. And I don't know who or how, if there's a private citizen that would like to get into business and do graffiti removal, or if the city can do graffiti removal, but I encourage you to get the graffiti off the walls in our city. Go through town, drive up and down the streets. I know you do, Octavius, but look like with the eyes of a visitor. How does a visitor feel about coming into 29 Palms and seeing all of this all over the place? Also on Gorgonio, going past the post office, you got 2 boarded up, a duplex on one side and a house on the other. It's trash. And I know at one time, the city said that you had to paint the wood the same color as the house. That way it didn't stand out so much. And if that's the case, I would like for you to pick that habit back up and have the owners do that so that it's not looking so trashy. Okay, enough of that. Next, Donnell Hill versus Freedom Plaza. That was a very nice presentation, by the way, very good. And he did mention that there were comments made by Facebook people. The majority of the comments are in favor of not moving it. And one comment that stood out was, when you come in and see the Elks Lodge, you got your welcome sign there. Then you drive through Smoke Tree, you come over the hill, and you see 29 exclamation, you've arrived in town. Okay, I didn't quite make it, but. Okay, so I have an office. I mean, it doesn't do me any good to have the sign down there, but I have an office and I can see the traffic. And people do, they actually drive right up onto the area. And if they have a problem, they can get right there close to it and there's not an issue. And then the younger people, they walk up in the dirt. But older folks, they can go right in, drive the car right in and circle around and come back out. So maybe we need a little direction or something to encourage people, that they can do that. But the town on Facebook was not in favor of removing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chuck?
So, hello everybody. My concern is 2 Mile Road between Adobe and Encilia. I've lived there for 43 years, and there are people that drive and pass in that turn lane doing 65, 70, 80 miles an hour, and sometime there's going to be a real bad accident. What I would like for you to consider is putting some markings in those turn lanes saying no passing, turn lanes only, which I don't think would be very expensive and could possibly save somebody's life sometime. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would add to that too, skateboarders and bicycle riders love that middle lane. And that's very dangerous.
That's it. All right. Well, here it comes. City manager update.
City manager update. I got one thing. The city actually helped, it was Reach Out, Robin was it, but the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints in Utah sent down 27,000 pounds of food. It's all canned, it's all quality product. They needed to take it off the semi-truck. The city actually took it off at Public Works, put it under because it rained, and the next day volunteers gave it away to 27,000 pounds to 35 different organizations throughout the Morongo Basin. And we were, as I'm sitting there listening and hearing this, we were fortunate. They did it the year before. They did 37,000 pounds, and they only had, 24 food distribution organizations that came to get it. So people were showing up with big trailers this year, but they would only get a half a pallet instead of last year they were getting a pallet and a half. So it was a pretty nice operation. They were very thankful that the city could help them get it off the truck, and the people that received it were very thankful, taking it and distributing it all the way from out in Landers, Morongo Valley, Wonder Valley, everywhere throughout the entire area. They're hoping because how they distribute it to such a wide, diversified area that they might get a truckload next year too. So that's it.
Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Continue to smile and be nice to each other, and do what we got to do to make this city great. We got to do it together. All right. So thank you for coming. This city meeting is adjourned.